That's it. That's our 30 seconds. That's the countdown. That's the preparation. And it looks like we got a couple second delay over on the YouTube channel. So happy Tuesday. Good evening, everybody. Today is the first Free Thinkers, the first Tuesday of the 2022 new year. So those of y'all that are joining us tonight, we appreciate the support, of course. We've got some pretty cool topics to talk about tonight. Where can you find us? Hopefully you're watching us on YouTube. If not, get on our YouTube channel. If you are on the Facebook Free Thinkers group page, it's just one more click. Hop over to Free Thinkers Worldwide on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Also, turn on the notifications. That way it notifies you of anything that's happening on the channel regarding live setups and things like that, so you don't miss these things, because that is our goal, is to slowly keep moving our content over to YouTube. So we have 400 and something plus members on our Free Thinkers Facebook page, and we would love to see that number grow over on our YouTube channel. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Otherwise, tonight, you can obviously find us on Facebook streaming live. Comments on Q's page and comments on the YouTube channel will pop up on our screen. Unfortunately, comments that are in the YouTube or in the Facebook Free Thinkers page are not popping up because the way I have it set up, I'm in jail still for about 7 more hours. So it's just not pulling comments that are directly on the Free Thinkers page versus those that comment off of Q's, reshare, or directly to the YouTube channel. But that doesn't mean stop replying, because you can reply, Q can see them, he'll tend to them.
I'll see it and I'll repost it.
Cool. But if you want us to see your comment and miss nothing, go over to our YouTube channel and hop on that bad boy, subscribe. If you also have a YouTube channel or any type of podcast or channel yourself, please let us know so that we can reciprocate and subscribe and follow you right back. So it is nothing to hit that button. What's up, Armand? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hi.
Hey. All right. So what is Free Thinkers? We are a group that is for anybody who might consider themselves a free thinker. We do this every Tuesday night. There is not necessarily an invitation needed at all. You don't have to come every Tuesday. You can come every Tuesday. I do try to send the key information to the folks that, do make this a routine. But if ever you're like, how the hell do I get in here? Just shoot me a message and I can send you the StreamYard link. It is a different link every single Tuesday. It's not the same link ever. So every week you have to know what StreamYard link to tap onto. Q does have the StreamYard link posted on our Facebook page. I am unable to send it to you at this point now. Check your DMs. If you are a regular around here, it's probably in your inbox. But if you're just trying to listen tonight or watch the show tonight, of course, you don't need the StreamYard link. You can view us here on Facebook or over on YouTube. So yeah, adult conversations, deep conversations, heated conversations, funny conversations, controversial conversations, whatever you want to call it. We talk about everything here. So this is for any and everybody until you realize maybe it ain't for you. So, stick around as long as you want to. We appreciate you being a part of the family and supporting us. Hit that share button over and over, and we'll get started. If you want to jump in at any point, you're certainly welcome to. We just ask that you get yourself caught up. So if you have to hop in here a little bit late, that's cool. You can show up late. That's all right. Just don't jump on and be like, okay, what y'all talking about? No, go ahead and listen first and then jump into the conversation. Earbuds definitely help with keeping the little clicking noises down. And of course, just background noise, keep your stuff down because that does interfere. Make sure your speakers are turned down if you're listening, because it's going to have interference in the background, echoing and stuff too. So tonight, we've got a couple topics we're going to talk about. The page has been a little slow, of course, because of the holidays, so they're over. And then I'm out of jail tomorrow. Well, tonight I'm out of jail. So you're going to see my name pop up more times than you probably would like, and you might wish that I was back in Facebook jail, but please don't report shit and put me back in there. But we've got some cool topics. We pulled a few things from the page, and if you haven't seen them, that's okay. We'll catch you up. Found a cool way to add some features to the StreamYard link, so we'll pop up on screen some of the things we're talking about. So that'll be kind of cool. But other than that, I guess we can go ahead and just get started. The first, the first conversation that will maybe. Did you want to start with Antonio Brown? Do you want to start with him? Do you think you want to start with him? You want to start with the lady? You want to start with the crazy work situation, boyfriend, girlfriend situation?
Antonio Brown is fine.
Antonio Brown. Okay. Armand, are you familiar with Antonio Brown, his actions yesterday or Sunday during the football game?
Well, I don't watch much football, but yeah, I heard he walked out of a game or something, or walked away from a game. I think he's done something like that before. I think there was a time I read he wanted to get traded to the New England Patriots. So he started a fight with like the general manager of the football game. He got hired to I guess to make it look like he was unstable, and they let him go out of his contract and trade. He would get picked up by the team he wanted to originally play for. So I know a little bit about him, but most of the stuff I know about him is just the crazy antics he pulls.
Okay. Q, you know quite a bit more about sports. Does that sound about right? Is that a fair assessment? Because I don't know. I just know he's been, of course, his name has been in the headlines for things prior to Sunday. But certainly I would not personally make a declaration on anything because I don't know other than what I saw this past Sunday.
Yeah, let me try to give you a quick timeline. First of all, Antonio Brown, 3 to 4 years ago, he was considered one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, at least top 3. It was debatable between him, Odell Beckham Jr., and Julio Jones. There was debate between who was the best between those 3. They were the top. So started off first let me give you more history on this. So as there was a debate on, and a lot of people know Odell Beckham Jr., some people know Julio Jones. As there was a debate on who was the best, I believe he wanted to find ways to gather more attention because out of the 3, he may have been one of the best, but not the most well-known. So I think he started getting on social media more. The first incident came up while they were in the locker room. Their coach was giving this speech about a future game, and he decides to go on IG Live and actually live film what they're talking about in their
I don't think I heard about that one.
Locker room. And you can hear the coach talking about, look, hey, this in-house stuff, and he over here just
live in it.
That's a huge no. You don't tell you don't let other people privy to the locker room what's going on behind closed door. That was the first thing he did. Then he started complaining about catches and not being targeted enough, and the quarterback not throwing him enough ball. So he started complaining about the quarterback and about his situation that he wasn't receiving enough attention on the field. Ultimately, it got big enough to where they decided to trade him because he wasn't happy and he wanted to get out. They traded him to the Raiders. I don't know if it was either the Oakland Raiders or the Vegas Raiders then. So he gets to the Raiders. Once he gets to the Raiders, he has issues there. First of all, the NFL, what concussions and CTE, what a lot of people are talking about.
That was my thought.
The NFL was telling people that they were going to be funneling out some of the older style helmets because they weren't safe enough. You had to start using newer helmets.
I remember that.
He didn't want to stop using the helmet that he had been using, so he put up a fuss about that. He refused to change helmets out, and it became a long-standing issue to the point he was going to get fined or suspended, and wasn't like, we're not going to let you go on the field with these old helmets. Also, he went into a cryo chamber, and that's where those sub-zero temperatures. He had wet feet. He ended up getting frostbite in his feet, and he wasn't able to play for weeks on top of that. So, but even when he got to the Raiders, he had issues. And then toward the end of that, 2 other things happened. He got in a an issue where he told off on his coaches, and then also these allegations of sexual misconduct came up as well.
I thought I remember hearing something about him and some sexual
All of those
misconduct
things,
stuff.
yes,
Okay.
all of those things started to surface, and ultimately he forced his way out of the Raiders. And if he would have stayed on another, he literally missed out on about it was somewhere between $10 to $30 million just because he just wouldn't act right. He had a clause basically, if he would have started the first game, he would have got his bonus pay, and he didn't get his bonus pay because of him forcing his way out. Okay, so the New England Patriots pick him up. At the time, Tom Brady, best quarterback in the world, decides, hey, I'm a vouch for you. I want you to come on my team. In that process, when he first gets to New England, he still has some ongoing investigations going on about sexual misconduct, and he decides to reach out to one of the girls who had accused him of something, and he put that he start texting her and going back and forth, and then the girl put that on social media like, yo, he over here sideways threatening me for saying what I said. So after only a game or two, the New England Patriots let him go. They released him, and then he took some shots at the owner of the Patriots, and made it even worse. So then he was out of the league for the rest of the year, whatever. Tom Brady moves to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year, and he says, hey, and Antonio Brown, I still like him. He's a good guy. I'll bring him in. Fine. So that's where he was last year. They won a Super Bowl. He did pretty well. This year he had some injuries. He was doing okay. You hadn't heard much from him, but recently he had at the beginning of the year, he had doctored a fake vaccination card.
I remember that.
Which that's a felony.
But didn't it come out that he was actually vaccinated though?
No, it came out that he got a fake vaccination card, and once he found out that that's a felony and you could get in some real trouble for that, then he went ahead and got vaccinated. So by the time the story came out, then he technically was vaccinated, but initially,
so they couldn't suspend him for it because he had gotten vaccinated.
They could, because he still the card he was a fake card. So he
did get the shot per rules. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
then
that's what I thought. Okay.
For a couple games for that, then he came back, and then it came. This is toward the end of the season. I'm almost finished. You get toward the end of the season, and for his contract clause, he has to have. There are certain stipulations for his clause in order for him to get money. So you get this amount of passes, you get this amount of yards, you play this amount of games, then your other bonuses kick in, which will equal up to like $1 million.
Yeah.
Get toward the end, he starts getting mad because he feels like he's not getting targeted enough. So then he gets mad. He refuses to go in. He says something to the quarterback, Tom Brady, like, oh, I guess you going with your other boy now. You're not going to pass me the ball. And he's like, man, whatever, stop, cut it out. So then the coach asked him a couple times, are you going back in? He says he's not going in. He's like, well, then, just go. And then he gets upset. And the other, some of the other people try to calm him down, like, man, look, just go in the game or chill out or whatever. And then that's when he starts taking all his stuff off, taking all of his clothes off, and running out in the middle of the field in the middle of the game. And he's no longer a part of that team either.
Well, Q, I have a question. So did he run out in the middle? So he ran out butt naked, or he just?
No.
He
was topless though. Hey, he was topless.
It looked like he thought about it for a second. I really
know. I did too. I wondered when I saw it. I was like, oh, he's gonna keep going.
He took the shirts off and then he kind of fiddled with his waistline on him, and then he just went ahead and ran off. But it looked like he thought about it for a second. If it wasn't so hard to get them pants off, he might have went out butt naked. It was a possibility, but he didn't. And that's where we at now. And then now in social media, what I'm hearing is a lot of people are saying, obviously he has some mental issues. This is nothing that you should take lightly. Some people are talking about CTEs and he needs to get help and a lot of things like that. And that's where we are. I have my own opinions about it, but that's pretty much the facts right now.
So is it or is it not true that his ankle is injured and they kept wanting to play him with an injured ankle in this last game? Like that's the last that I had read today. And it was discussed a little bit last night elsewhere, that he hurt his ankle. And I guess had missed some games because of a hurt ankle. So like this injury is not like a new thing. And I guess was asked to go into the game twice, and he was like, basically, ankle's not gonna hold up. Like if I spin on this ankle, if I do this wrong on my ankle, like this, it ain't gonna hold up. And and from what I'd read, coach was like, go in anyways. So is he injured? Does he have an injury? You know, I mean, not to say that all people don't play, not to say that all people can't play with injuries, because we know a lot of people do, but like, do you think that that contributes to why he was like, man, fuck this. Y'all want to play me when I'm injured?
No.
You don't think so?
That's 100% BS. If that was
the injury or just the attitude about it?
Him saying the injury was the reason he didn't go back in. If that was the case, then there wouldn't have been reports of him calling out Tom Brady like, oh, you going back to Gronk? You're not going to pass me the ball no more?
And this was in that game Sunday.
Yes, that was in that game. And then Tom Brady got mad, like, what are you, man, come on, let's play. What are you talking about? So he literally throws a hissy fit in the middle of the game. And then, so now when they ask him, like, why are you not in? Listen, number one, coaches know when you hurt. When you come out of those games, trainers know this. If you ever hurt, they know when you coming off the field if you hurt. And you will say something if you're hurt. If there's an issue, the trainer knows already. The head coach don't even have to go to an individual person. They'll go to the trainer. And the trainer tell them 81 is out right now. He's dealing with something, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You got to take him in halftime, get a cortisone shot, whatever they decide to do. All of that is BS because he's trying to cover up that he quit on his team and he threw a fit and ran off the field. Because let's go a step further. Why get upset? Why take your pads off in the middle of the field? It's probably 12 degrees outside. Why take all your clothes off and then start waving to the crowd? Like, what was necessary about that if you were hurt? And he was trotting off the field pretty. I ain't see him hobbling too much on his ankle as he's trotting off that field either.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw it was, oh shit, like, is this actually happening? Like, is he literally walking off the field and basically saying, fuck you to, which people say he said fuck you to his team. They say he said it to his coach. They said he said it to the, organization. Like, everybody has a different feeling about how his actions affected other people. But like watching him walk off, even people in the stands, one of the videos I watched, people in the stands were like, is he like they couldn't fucking believe that he was actually like, this is not a joke. He wasn't coming right back. So when I first saw it, like my first thought was, of course, what happened, not knowing much history at all about him, or, stopped watching football years ago, but wondered what happened. But then, the first thing that came to my mind was, holy shit, just the fact that, is he like literally one of, I don't know how many other football players in the NFL history, especially, in recent years, or especially since, everything that's happened with Kaepernick. Is he the only football player, especially black man, who's walked off of a team or who's left a game and basically said, fuck all of this? Or have there been other players?
Nope.
He's the first.
There was a guy a couple years ago. At halftime, he retired at halftime. Was like, I'm done. I ain't got no more. I'm not coming back.
Oh, wow.
Did not do it in the middle of the game. He didn't take his clothes off in the middle of the field.
Right.
That has not happened. So
the big deal for me was the fact that, one, he had the balls to do it, first of all, and didn't give a shit how obviously anybody felt about this. But two, I felt kind of sad watching it. I felt like if this isn't the intention that he is putting forth, something's going on up here as to what makes him think that this is, a reasonable decision, that this is a logical thing to do at this time. And some people are like, oh, no, it's not CTE, da, 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 da. But like, I looked at a document today that listed like, I don't know, 20 plus different incidences and examples of some CTE-like behavior for him. And, we know that this CTE shit crawls up over 10, 15, 20 years of people getting head injuries and stuff like that in sports. So I don't want to make CTE or mental health be the scapegoat for everything somebody does poorly, every decision somebody makes poorly. But you also have to like consider that as a variable, you know. Do you give that any credit? Go ahead, Stokely.
No, I feel you on that CTE thing. Now, AB, I've said this probably over the last 3 or 4 years, and mind you, I wasn't watching NFL. Of course, catch ESPN, and just some of the stupid things that he's done over the years. I'm like, wow, this dude may be suffering from something. And what happened this past week with him, for me, and I may be wrong, just kind of solidified that. I was like, wow, who does that? Just unbelievable. And back to the CTE point is I've seen a friend of mine here in Dallas, Tony Dorsett. He's suffering from CTE now. Early signs of dementia. I saw him maybe 2 seasons ago at a Mavericks game. Regular conversation. Saw him about 7 months ago. Not the same dude. Not the same dude.
You say Tony Dorsett?
Yeah.
Damn, that's sad.
But to see someone deteriorate that way, and now I'm looking at AB in the same way. I'm like, wow, I knew something was going on, but I wasn't for sure. And again, this is just my analysis of it.
Right.
But yeah, this weekend was pretty bad, and when you don't, I don't know if you know what you're doing when you've been concussed so many times, and you take hits, he takes shots. He's a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You take shots.
He takes shots. So I played football growing up, and I've seen guys take shots. I've seen guys get concussions and such. And the short term isn't, you're like, wow, you got your bell rung. But the long term, I played football with a dude named Scott Cox, who he was crazy then. And 30 years removed from high school, he ain't all there. He played the other side. I played weak side. He played strong side linebacker, and he's not all there. I promise you, this dude is crazy. And,
so you think that this could be more than just him being a diva? Because I think some people are playing it off as it's just like him being a straight up diva.
No, I think there's more to it than that. I personally do. Personally do. Not everybody. We had the conversation at work, and some people disagree. They think he's a diva. They think he's what's your boy's name? Terrell Owens type.
Yeah, T.O.
receiver.
Yeah.
T.O. type receiver and the Odell Beckham type receiver and all that. I don't know if he is though. I mean, he likes to shine. He likes all that, but I just don't. I think it's more to him than it is than what we see.
I do too. I
disagree.
Okay, okay. You think it's all played up?
I don't think it's played up, but I think it's selective crazy, and I think I don't want to cause it up to CTE. Now, remind you, and I get your analogy of Tony Dorsett. He'd been in this league for many years, at least 6 or 7 years with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Before any of these incidents ever came up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was once he started, it's one of those things where fame is an addictive drug. Mm-hmm. And when nobody knew him, and he was working his way up, and he was still working to get that money. He was trying to get them contracts. So once he got his contract, and once people actually start knowing him, he got on the cover of Madden. He started being famous and thought of as a top receiver and actually viewed in that. Then that's when you start seeing things change. Now he got to be on IG. He got to be live all the time. He got to be showing out for the cameras. He got to be doing extra stuff all the time.
We saw that with Ocho Cinco. I mean, that fame got to, and Ocho Cinco was a bad boy, if you ask me.
He was.
But he didn't claim. I just see something different in AB than I see in these other guys that makes me think. That one picture where he going off the field looking like he drunk already, and and you're right, Q. He could be playing it up, gassing us up a little bit, but I do think there's more to his situation than what we're, addressing. I mean, even the media, even ESPN. So.
And what if he did have an injury? And what if he was like, "Fuck you, people"? And what if he was like,
"No,
fuck all this"? Like, so this especially when he knew. What did he say? He said he had there was like $330,000 or $33,000 coming if he made this, and then like another $30,000 coming if he did this. Like, so he had, like you said, hella money. I mean, you said what, 10 to 30 million previously. So I guess losing money for him isn't necessarily a
333,000 is what.
That's what it was. I knew it was threes and threes somewhere because that's a whole lot of threes.
It was money on the table.
It was a lot of money on the table,
But it makes it easier when you're rich. It makes it easier to clown. I mean, if you got 10 million stacks in the bank and somebody tell you to go out there and you do have a bad ankle, man, look, I ain't fixing to go out there and injure myself even more. That's just my take on the whole situation. They can get rid. Look, if he 10 million today, if he plays his cards right, he'll be fine for the rest of his life.
Let me go back. Let me go back though, because see that's where you get into the weeds when people try to make excuses for themselves. Number one, Stokely will tell you probably by the end of a season, nobody's 100% healthy. Right. Everybody hurt and banged up.
Right.
And because that's a known thing, no coach is going to try to force you to play hurt. If they, hey, 81, you good to go? No, it ain't working. No coach in their right mind will tell you to go in when they know that you're injured, hurt, or not capable of going. They're gonna ask you how you feel because only you know your body. So all this, I told him I can't go, and he told me to go in. That's BS. And if he did tell him to go in, it wasn't because of the ankle. He probably tell him to come. Look, we need to win the game. Stop pouting. Stop crying about whatever it is you crying about. Get back in the game. And he just don't want to get in the game because he's throwing a hissy fit.
Because he's not getting the ball.
Because he's not getting the ball. And that's not the first time. I don't know if you remember Stokely, Mr. Crutchfield. He did that before when he was at. See, this is what I'm saying. It's a track record. So some people don't know this. He did that in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Ben wasn't throwing on the ball enough, and he threw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
So this ain't the first time he did it before. So when somebody said it, no, he making that up.
The boy cried wolf.
I have a question. I mean, like maybe the football league, from what you are describing, this timeline seems like having him on a team might be more trouble than it's worth. It seems like every team he goes to, he causes problems or there's fights or he's. You know what I mean? And at a certain point, I'm afraid the league might just say you're not worth it anymore.
It's getting close, and he's getting old. He's getting to that age to where he's probably not going to get on again. But when you are the top 3 at your position, people will give you another chance. If he was mediocre, like in between, see that was Kaepernick's problem. Kaepernick had talent, but he was kind of in the middle of the pack. And they said we could do without you.
See, I think that with the Cap, I'm sensitive with the Kaepernick situation. A little different for me, my take on it. But
it's different for me too. But yeah, absolutely.
We allowed America and these people that thought he was doing something wrong to dictate the rest of what he was able to do and put that pressure on the team and put that pressure on the league and then Roger Goodell comes back and says, "Oh, well, we made a mistake." Well, shit.
No.
What, years fucking later? Like, didn't he just say that this year or whatever?
Last year, but still.
This year doesn't count.
But when the temperature changed, after all the George Floyd stuff, now it's like, oh yeah, well, we probably made a mistake. Yeah, no.
Oh, fuck that! Because you had owners who were doubling down on their racist rhetoric, and so
Jerry
that
Jones,
was the worst fucking one. He was the worst whip snatching motherfucker who basically was like, any of you people go out here and say shit, you out of here. Like,
see, that's the reason why I could have never played on a team. Not that I ain't talented enough, not that I ain't 6'8" or anything like that. His attitude would have kept me from playing right or doing the right thing because I'd have been out there on a knee.
And so that's my whole thing is, over the last handful of years with so much, I would imagine, tension probably brewing, especially within the black athletes in the NFL, and especially if they have a piece of shit, actual racist fucking coach and racist team members. Like, could he literally have just gotten to that place where he was like, fuck all y'all. Fuck y'all.
Right.
No.
Especially if they're trying to ask him to play hurt. And isn't this about to be up in the playoffs? Like, we about to have Super Bowl here soon. So this is like big money on the line.
No.
Well,
that's a good try, Nikki. Don't
well,
try to mess
I'm
with
just
me.
saying, that's how I would do it.
I mean, I don't know.
Antonio Brown ain't got nothing to do with Kaepernick.
But I think it seems like from what you're describing, his situation and Colin Kaepernick's situation is like a different. There's like a difference there between Colin.
Well, yes, of course, big time. Situation. For sure, but I just use that as reference to keep popping off. Armand, I just use that in reference
down like
to
AB.
Yeah.
No, Armand, I just use that for reference of like just the climate that has, my assumption, the climate that has been fostered now throughout the NFL since the Colin Kaepernick stuff has taken place. You know, how I can only imagine, you know, it's like being in a hostile work environment, you know, is kind of how I would think that some of that feels like.
I would say the same thing. I think AB's situation is so different in the context of what with the Kaepernick situation. But I mean, not to make excuses for AB, but I would feel much better. I would personally feel much better if he was diagnosed and said, you know what, this is what's going on. I would feel so much better. I just don't want to lend it to his ignorance. I don't want him to be, and he has done the fool, like you said, in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's my team. And I saw him and I was like, oh, he's such a distraction. And people get fed up with the bullshit after a while. Right. They just do.
And not only that, what you don't, it's not even just about being fed up, but the way he went about doing things is the complete opposite of football is the ultimate team sport.
Right. I get that too.
And everything, when you keep doing everything that says me, forget the team, me, you can't operate like that. Like you cannot,
and your team members do get sick of you. You know, the camaraderie is lost.
Off of the field in the middle of the game, take it, and you make it all about you once again. Even on your way out the door, you still make it about you.
Yep,
that's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah, I saw.
What I don't want to do. This is what I don't want to do. I don't want to assume because he's kind of off. And this is my take on it. He could have some CTE issues, and he might also be a jerk. Both of those things can be correct at the same time. So even if he gets some mental help, he still may be a jerk.
Yeah.
Those two things could be totally separate, and they're merging together. So I don't want to, because there's plenty of people who have CTE, and there's people who have to take certain medicines because they get these chronic migraines and other things like that. And they operate like regular functioning individuals. A lot of them, you see them on TV, they're correspondents, they do, they're analysts, and they function, and they'll tell you, yeah, I got some issues, but you don't see them acting crazy like that, though.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, and I'm not willing to give him that pass if he himself, at no point in time ever that I've heard him acknowledge that he has an issue. So why am I going to give him an issue when he doesn't acknowledge it? See, and when you acknowledge it, then people can have a different level of sympathy for you. Stokely, I don't know if you know Brandon Marshall. Do you remember Brandon Marshall?
I do.
He has issues, and he's doing very well right now for himself, but he acknowledged that he had issues. He got some help, and he talks about his struggles that he works with. Ron Artest, who's known as Meta World Peace right now.
Yeah.
He talks about his issues, and he realized it. So once you say you got an issue, now we can have some type of sympathy for you and say, well, if he's acknowledging he has a problem, now we can also acknowledge that. But I'm not going to say that
denial is, though. But that's what denial is. And if you don't know you got a problem, then how do you work on something that you don't know you got a problem?
I agree with that. But if you don't know you got a problem, then I can't tell you that it's because of certain. I can just call you a jerk.
But isn't that part of what happens with the holes, the Swiss cheese, and the brain? You know, you've got men doing things, you know, violently and aggressively and irrationally that they don't typically have a pathology of doing. You know, now I understand he's got some diva-esque ways, right? But like, could all of these things literally be coming to a head in his fucking head? And it was just like something that happened. We don't know. None of us were there. Like, we don't know what happened on that bench. Could something have just been the catalyst and he just fucking snapped?
Well,
that's
a good point. Oh, go ahead, Armand.
Like, Aaron Hernandez, that
yes,
guy,
yes,
he was crazy.
Like with the CTE and the Parkinson's,
he was crazy,
and the personality type changes and stuff. I mean, I know football makes millions of dollars, but like, is it really worth it with all the Parkinson's and the brain damage and the you know what I mean? I'm glad it makes millions of dollars, and I know it helps these athletes.
Billions.
Billions of dollars, and they help these athletes, and it helps them send their kids to good schools, and and all those good things. But like, if it turns their brains to scrambled eggs, and then when they get older, they shake like with Muhammad Ali in the park. I mean, it makes me wonder. Like, I don't think the human body is designed to get smashed and slammed and punched.
It's not. It's for our pure enjoyment and entertainment.
Yeah, but hearing you, Stokely, and hearing you, Q, I just couldn't help but wonder, like, is it really worth it if it causes this kind of damage to these individuals?
If you're an athlete, I'm sure every athlete would tell you yes. It's the love of the sport. Yeah. And it's like anything else that can really fuck us up, right? Like, it's not gonna happen to me. Like, I can smoke cigarettes, I'm not gonna get cancer. Like, I can drink alcohol, I'll never be an alcoholic. Like, I can participate in risky behaviors, and it's, I can have unprotected sex, I'm not gonna get an STD, or I'm not gonna get pregnant. Like, I think that, most people probably go into situations thinking the worst is not going to happen. And I'm sure that plenty of these 18, 19, 20-year-old young, vibrant, healthy, strong as everything, in their peak body-wise men are like, it ain't gonna happen. And if it happens, it'll be when I'm 50. But no, we're seeing, men who have been in the league for just 5 years, start to have these personality changes. I mean, and there's just so many variables. I mean, yes, like you said, Q, you enter in social media, you mentor, the attention and the clout and, the position that you now hold because of, who you are. Like, that's just as addicting. That's, attention is a hell of a fucking drug,
Yes.
So you take all these little bits and pieces, the money, the pressure. Like, I still feel like the climate of the NFL cannot fucking be the same since everything has taken place with Kaepernick. Like, I'm not a man. I'm not a black man. I don't play football. I've never been in the NFL. Like, I'm not an athlete. Like, none of these things I'll ever be. So I can only, make these assumptions from the outside looking in type shit. But I just feel like there has to be more to this than him just being a diva. Like, I don't feel like he would just throw all this shit away. I know a lot of jerks. But I don't know a lot of fucking jerks who make, $30 million either. You know what I'm saying?
How many people do you know that make $30 million?
I don't know anybody that makes $30 million.
A lot of them jerks.
People that make $3 million a year.
I mean, I know some smaller millionaires.
3 million to change a motherfucker. I'm telling you that right now.
3
or 30, it don't matter to me. I need one or the other.
3 or 30. I don't know. I just, what I saw all night Sunday night was people clowning him. And, it kind of goes back to shit that we've talked about before. Is like, just fucking wait. Like, it literally just happened. And of course, people respond off of emotion and, frustration and, shock because they couldn't believe that he actually walked off the field or whatever. But it was like, if you're truly a fan of the sport, if you truly love, competitive sports, like, just wait and see what they say first before you crucify this man who you just wore his jersey. You just was hollering his name. You just bet on him. Like,
that's the way American people are. That's the way we are built that way. Everybody in America at one point loved them some O.J. Simpson.
Right.
Till he cut her neck off. Till he cut her head off almost.
Till he allegedly cut her head off.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But they loved OJ. OJ in the 70s and 80s was, they loved him.
Yeah, they love you if you're making them that money. But the minute that you stop making them that money, now all of a sudden you're disposable. And I think that, maybe a lot of people don't realize how disposable they are when they are not their own owner, when they have a boss, when they're owned by somebody else.
That is why, on a side note, I could argue that Floyd Mayweather is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, he works for himself. He makes the rules for himself.
Not only beside just not the game itself. He was
Is he the only
undefeated.
boxer who's independent like that?
Nobody did it the way he did it.
Okay. So he's not the first independent, but okay.
He took over as far as being a promoter. He controlled his fights. Right. He controlled the testing of the fights. He got the pay-per-view. He got percentages of the pay-per-view money. He had his hands in everything. And a lot of your favorite fighters left out the game broke, or they fought 5, 10, 15 fights too long because they needed to keep fighting to maintain the lifestyle.
That's a lot of extra too many fights. 5 fights too many, 10 fights too many.
The truth, it is brutal. That's a brutal sport.
Straight head trauma.
You know, if you ever get a chance to watch the Mickey Ward Arturo Gotti fight 1 and 2, good God Almighty! I don't know how to.
Surprised that they lived even after that fight.
After that, man, 2 of the best. And I mean, I love boxing, but those 2, man. I'm surprised somebody didn't die just in the fight. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So now this is my other. I'm going bigger picture now. This is my issue with what I hear on social media when people immediately try to give him a pass and say, "Oh, it's because of mental issues," and y'all can see that he has a problem. We pick and choose when we want to give people a pass. I'm gonna go back to my easiest scenario. Do we give R. Kelly a pass? No. He talked about how he was molested by one of his older sister, and nobody looks at that and says, "Oh, well, he suffered trauma, so that's why he." No, people don't get it. So how do we pick and choose when we want to give somebody a pass?
That's a good example. I knew the story. I didn't even think about it like that, though.
Well, Q, I am wondering, like, why do we give some people passes and other people, like,
the way the story is presented to us? That's all. The way the media presents the story to you, you give people a pass. And not only this goes back to what Nikki was talking about also. There's a lot of people who have a hate and a disdain for the NFL because of that Kaepernick type of stuff, and because of that, the corporation that's the NFL, and the NFL gives a FU to everybody, and they kind of people get paid, but they treat the players kind of raggedy.
They treat the players real raggedy.
It's a love-hate relationship because people love to watch football, but they hate the ownership and the institution of the NFL. So when things like this happen, then they're easier to give someone like that a pass because we don't like the leadership in the NFL in the first place. So anybody who appears to be sticking their nose up to the authority in the NFL, and like, "Oh yeah, go at it." Like, he's still a jerk. That's just my thought.
Because thinking about it, like when I read about it, I thought to myself, what other job could you do the kind of stuff that this man has done and still get hired?
If you're a white president of the United
States, right. That's the only. But like with the Kaepernick situation, I think where the league made a big mistake is in the players. I'll say the players. There should have been more players backing Kaepernick at that point to begin with. Then the league has to understand if it's 74% of the league is black, and you had 74 or 71% of black players say, "You know what, we're with Kaepernick," what do you think the NFL would have done? And all the white people that said that he was disrespecting the flag and the country and the Air Force and the Army and the Navy Marines, and all of those people, they would just have to be mad at the NFL, because you have to have, a car ain't gonna run without a motor. The motor in the NFL is black players, period. You got Tom Brady, you got Aaron Rodgers, you got a few other elite players that aren't black. But what it was just like it would be like the NBA before the ABA and the NBA merged. The NBA had all white dudes, and the ABA was street ballers, and they said, "Y'all got to come over here and play with us." You see, so if you don't have a motor to run that machine, i.e.,
Yeah,
those players.
I agree, but I hate that scenario that if all of us do this, then we can make. That's such a. I hate when because it's. How often can you get everybody to jump on the bandwagon to do the same thing?
You can't. We saw
they
that.
know that. They know that.
Yeah. But I just think that because the narrative was what it was, he told you what he was protesting about. He told the world what he was protesting about. But the narrative took another turn. And so, to me as a black man, I understood exactly what he was saying. I understood exactly why he was doing it. I understood all of those things. But we gotta let's be educated. We got a Steelers fan that just came on. Crutch. That's my Uncle Billy. Fan too?
That's my uncle.
Okay.
He labeled Crutch. I'm gonna call him Crutch.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, family. Welcome.
I'm just sitting up here listening, and I was like, let me get on here because when you think about AB, Mike Tomlin did a great job of pacifying or hiding or keeping all that under wraps. They say the same thing about the receivers that's right there now. You see the actions that a lot of them do. It's just a coach that he's able to control a lot of that. A lot of these coaches can't. AB's got I think he's got some mental issues, but he's got some diva issues. So I ain't trying to give him a pass, but I think he's got some issues. And I said before, we go to work every day, and sometimes we sit there and be like, you know what? Fuck y'all motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of my face. He just said it. Express it and do it. You know what I mean? Most people just don't think do that.
We don't say it out loud,
he was just like, fuck this. I'm up out of here.
But like I said, $10 million will make me want to do it. Right. I do it. So.
And at the end of the day, though, if you really look at it, Tampa still hasn't, I haven't seen it, haven't officially cut him.
I don't think
even though Bruce Arians said he's no longer on our team, the GM, they haven't officially let him go. And
you're right. That has not been said.
To do with Tom Brady. Let's think about this. Tampa ain't won a Super Bowl.
Hold on. Time out. Are you trying to say
since last year?
You trying to say you think he's gonna come back? You think he's gonna come back?
I don't know.
Oh no.
he might go back. He might say I got some mental issues.
I broke
down.
He'll probably
I have
try
some
that.
things going on.
I bet you he will.
They say, okay, you need to address your mental health issues. Once you do that, you'll be back in time for the playoffs, and we're gonna make another run. I don't know, but this is a money game. This ain't you know what I mean? It's business, man. I look at it and say I've seen friends of mine, whether they was playing here for the Cardinals, because I live in Arizona, and the game, the owners, GMs, they do what's best for them and that organization, what they think is best for that organization. They really can give a shit about the players to a certain extent.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
Because,
it's about the money.
Right. One of my good friends is playing now in Minnesota, and he was drafted by the Cardinals. They top 5 pick by the Cardinals, and they ended up letting him go. So it was all about the money. And it wasn't no respect there because they said, well, if you get an offer, call us. And he called and said, hey, Minnesota talked to me. GM didn't call him back until after he had signed with Minnesota.
Yeah, no, it's a cutthroat game.
It is.
Yep.
It is. It's about the money.
Okay, so somebody respond to me as far as oh no, this question I did have. Kevin asked, he said, do we give Kim Potter a pass? Who is Kim Potter? I don't know who that is.
She's the bitch police officer who killed Dante Wright. Like, what are we giving her a pass for? Like, what?
She got convicted though, right?
Yeah, she got convicted.
Yes.
Okay. So
everybody but white men get convicted of killing other people, especially police officers. But
right.
I mean, there's a hierarchy in this shit. Like, you can throw all the white women under the bus, but the white men, they definitely finna get off.
Okay.
But she was a police officer who was just convicted. I'm not sure what we're giving her a pass for.
Yeah. Did she have some issues prior to that? Like,
26 years on the force, never had an incident. She was what they would consider to be a good cop. She trained other cops. Yeah, but
That's right.
She blew
let me
this
ask
one.
you a question. That seemed weird to me that she kept screaming taser, taser, taser. It seemed like she was trying to cover her bases.
That's what I felt
You
like.
know she was. Just like they
Like
teach them to say,
who says taser,
just like
taser? I'm like, hold
the
on.
same way they teach them to say, you're resisting arrest. Quit resisting. Quit
I
resisting.
felt like my life was in danger.
My life was in danger.
Is their number one
Yeah.
go-to?
I don't know how many. I'm asking because I don't know this for sure. But I mean, when people get tased, I don't know how many times I've heard a cop say taser, 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 and it's like, no, they just hit you with it.
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
keep saying taser and pull out a gun. It's like I think she knew she had a gun. She's trying to cover her bases. She was trying to get a body.
Yeah.
Right.
Get a count up.
Well, she knew there was too many eyes on her. She, whatever they do when no one's looking, she could have done that day. She was outed. She was busted.
They showed a video. They showed a video of her. They showed a video of her at another scene where she told two officers to cut their body cams off as she was coming up to the scene. Now, see, to me, that's just corrupt. That's
premeditated felonious behavior. Like exactly. If you throw a joint out the window, you finna get felony. What is it? God, I can't think of what they charge you with. There's a whole other fucking felony offense that you get if you throw Texas.
Littering, you get charged, and then they hit you with a littering on the backside of that bitch.
No, you do get the littering ticket, but it has something to do with just destroying evidence or some shit, whatever it is. Like it's a ridiculous charge, So for them to be able to turn off the body cams, that should be punishable to the highest degree.
That to me is inexcusable for number one, because that's a part of. After everything that's done happen, one thing as you as an officer should never be able to do is turn off your body cam.
Right.
You should be almost terminated or suspended just for doing that.
Yeah. And charged.
Yeah, charged. I think
obstruction of justice. That's what it is. Obstruction of justice. Yeah.
I think with all the what's it called where they put them on desk duty. What's it called? Oh,
paid administrative leave with paid vacation. Leave.
It's more cops in this country on paid administrative leave at any given time over this type of stuff. But see, for her to be a training officer that trains other officers and then to tell them to turn their body cams off as she's approaching the scene, that should have been termination right then. Mm-hmm. Why? When you got to hide?
I have a question.
Sure. Ain't that what they tell us?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Just like I think there's a lot of the mass murderers, the people who, shooting in the crowds, a lot of people do things for attention. Ooh, because they feel like they're nobody. They need some type of attention, and they rather go down in a blaze of glory and have the spotlight on them for 6 to 8 months during the trial versus never to be known and be totally unimportant. Do you think that starts translating over to law enforcement as well, to where they say, my face is going to be on national news for the next 6 to 7 months. This is something that I would do this in order to get this national recognition. Ooh, and if I get off, then I can do that, Zimmerman type of stuff and go on a whole,
book signing tour.
Rittenhouse, doing probably gonna have gun deals and stuff, all this type of stuff. There's an element to where people just want attention to in some form or fashion.
I can see that being a situation. I really could. I mean, look how they did. What's his name? The little boy, Rittenhouse or whatever. Look, but see that to me is part of the problem when you got white folks gassing out. Excuse me, Nikki. I'm sorry, but you got white folks gas.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Sorry, Nikki.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
No offense, Nikki.
I don't know why y'all say that ever.
Does it get under your skin?
But yeah, it's just crazy, and they've made a hero out of this kid, and you've got grown ass white men looking up to this 17-year-old boy.
Yes.
Is that the craziest? I wish I would look up to this craziness.
But they really believed that he was in the fucking right.
Right,
They believed that he,
Well,
just like they believed that all them elections was totally rigged. Like, they are so throwed.
Yeah, y'all gonna get mad at me. It's two parts to this. Number one, he shouldn't have been out there. He had no business being out there. Didn't legally had a right to carry no gun.
But
I don't know what if you run up on somebody with a gun, what did you think was gonna happen? Like when he actually popped off, I'm like, yeah, that's what I expected to happen.
Okay. But you gotta see, I always go back to there's a root to this problem. Little young ass shouldn't have been out there in the beginning. Little young ass shouldn't have had no gun. That's the root.
Your trifling ass, racist ass, inbred ass mama shouldn't have had a part in this, you know?
So hold on. This is the flip side, though. This is where people mess up because they constantly, just like with George Zimmerman, they try to overcharge these people for stuff that will not stick.
Right.
What did they try to charge Rittenhouse with? They probably tried to charge him for something that wasn't valid.
I remember. Was it murder? Did he get charged with murder?
If it was, see, that's my point. If it was first degree or second degree, you're giving him a pass to get off.
Right.
Because that's not.
Do you think they did that intentionally? Do you think that was an intentional fucking move so that he would get off?
I've seen cases where that has
charge him high so you don't have enough to substantiate a conviction.
And then I think people get stupid because they tried to please the public and the masses. And say if we try to charge him with involuntary manslaughter, then there's going to be an uproar from the public. So we need to charge him high. But why are you charging him high on something that you're not going to get to stick?
I think by law you can charge low and then go up, but you can't charge high and come down, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Well, no, because high coming down would just be a reduction of a conviction. But you can go high going up. You can go low going high too. Because you can. So what is it called?
What are those?
Enhance the charges. You can enhance the charges.
Ahmaud Arbery's
what
case.
What they usually do is they'll charge you with all of them. So they'll charge you with like reckless homicide, first degree, and second degree murder, but then it's what you get convicted on. So the jury will have a choice to say, okay, reckless homicide is one of the charges, so we can give them that, but we don't want to give them first degree or second degree murder. So now, if
unless it's capital,
yeah, I think only if if they don't state the other charges, you can't bring that into consideration.
Right.
I just wanted to say, according to ABC News, he was charged with first degree intentional homicide, attempted first degree intentional homicide, and first degree reckless homicide.
That's how he got off.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to probably say it wasn't intentional. They can't prove it was intentional.
You can't prove
it. Yes, you can when you drove hours across state line as an illegal fucking firearms holder.
Somebody running up on you.
That's hella intentional. You went there to fucking fight. You went there to fight.
They're trying to take your gun, then you giving yourself an out.
Every podcast need an Armand on they engineer. He be looking up shit and everything.
Facts.
Everybody need. Hey, I'm gonna start my podcast. I'm gonna need you looking up information for me as we go through.
You ain't giving no credit last week when I found the woman who was the cop that was twerking on the boss.
My bad. You sure right. I'm gonna give you some
kudos. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that lady again.
Nikki, we got what 20-something minutes left.
Yeah.
What else was we talking? What else did we have on the board?
Let's just spend a few minutes talking about the dude who had the crazy ass girlfriend. This one. We'll talk about this one for a few minutes because I want to be able to play. I want to play the video of the woman, and it's a 6-minute video. So hopefully y'all can bear with us while we play that.
Be ready to pause it when I tell you to pause it because I like to interject a lot. Go ahead.
On the chick.
Oh, just hold on. Just go and
okay. This one there's no video to, but this one is just something that Miss Annette had posted on the Facebook page, and I saw some other folks, commenting significantly on this about a week or two ago when this came out, and it was just basically this dude who is at work. He's got a 12-hour shift, and his chick requires him to be on FaceTime with her the entire fucking work shift.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Therein lies the second part to this.
He a simp. I'm telling you that straight up.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Like, how you going? Like, what job would just let you talk to your significant other for 12 hours while you're at work?
No, she don't need to talk to him. She just needs to see his face so she knows.
I mean, he looked like he's in a workshop. He looked like he at Amazon somewhere in a warehouse.
Keep that phone plugged up, keep that battery charged.
But I'm just saying she's gonna make him lose his job though, because if the job notices,
you would think
that would be the best thing to happen for him.
Yep,
to lose his job.
Oh, then he'd be home stuck with her all goddamn day.
No, that's when he need to get. That's when he need to gather all of his shit and leave. Just be gone.
He ain't going nowhere if he agrees to that bullshit.
Let me ask you this. What is she doing for 12 hours that she ain't? What is she doing for 12 hours while he over there?
What she said
it seems to me that he's the breadwinner, so he could go.
What she said, because they asked her about this. Of course, once they hit social media, of course it went there. But she said it's not that I don't trust him. I don't trust the other women. I don't trust the other women that are there.
I can't. No, the first thing you say is not that I don't trust him.
It's not that I don't trust you.
You're lying.
Yeah, you lying. You hella lying. Like if you're gonna do all of that, you don't trust me.
That's the first sign of crazy because she know how crazy that look. So she's trying to cover her bases already because she already know what people saying or what they gonna say. Oh, she's crazy. No, it's not that I don't trust him. I don't trust the other women that's there.
Right.
Do she think the other women gonna overpower him and take it from him?
Right.
She's lying. Stop.
He gotta give it out.
I think he should break up with her because if she's going to do something like that and potentially make him lose his job, because I don't know any other job where you can just talk to your significant other for most of the workday and
12 hours.
Ain't nobody doing that.
12-hour shift.
She ain't making him lose his job. That fool making himself lose his job.
Right.
True.
That fool need to man up. That's some bullshit.
He already
That's
been.
the way I feel about it.
They've been cut off already. They've already been cut off.
Yeah.
That's the time. By the time you get them snipped like that, you might as well you need to get out the relationship and start over fresh.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to me.
Because you lost all your leverage by that time. And I know. Look, in my younger years, I got reduced down to nothing. And I was doing stupid stuff like that because social media. If social media was what it was today, I bet you she probably would have had me doing some stuff like that, and I might have did it.
Oh
no, man!
You said you might have.
I might have in my younger years. I might have did that. I'm
gonna say this, and I'm gonna end mine.
Whoop your ass.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end mine. I love my wife, but I ain't gonna be FaceTiming for 12 hours and doing all that old nonsense.
Well, can you even imagine? Like, where are your nuts? You have zero nuts. You have absolutely zero nuts. I think you said it right when you started it off, Q. He's a simp, because legit, that's the only kind of male I know that would do some shit like that is if you just like a straight up simp. Like, no, bitch, I am not doing this. I will call you on my break if I need to. Like, there are other ways that I can, assure you I'm at the job if this is what we have to do. And I don't even feel like we have to do that shit. If I don't trust you, I can't be with you. But for the sake of dumb people do dumb shit when they, in love or whatever. Like, ain't no fucking way.
I got a follow-up question.
You got no balls. You got no nuts.
Stokely, Crutch, Armand. If you get caught up in some type of compromise situation in a relationship, say you get caught with some text messages or some pictures, or you got caught doing something you wasn't supposed to do, and as the relationship continues, then your partner wants to put some of these stipulations on me. You going out with the fellas? All right, hey, I need you to FaceTime me for 5 minutes or a couple minutes. I need you to FaceTime
I need to know that you where you say you at.
Is that something that you would compromise to after you've already been shown as not 100?
You say 2 minutes.
I need to see where you at. I need to see where you at. No. You said you was with Johnny and Ricky. Let me see Johnny and Ricky just look.
Right.
Damn. Show me the bar you at. Show me the timestamp.
But I know that if I had been caught in a situation and my girl told me that, okay, I need to FaceTime with you for 5 minutes, and I'd say, okay, fine, because I know I would have to work to rebuild that trust. When you betray somebody's trust, you got to put in the work to rebuild it.
'Tis
Trust
true.
takes a long time to rebuild. But if we're talking about her, like, if we're talking about, like, oh, you got to FaceTime me for 12 hours, but the person usually at that point in the relationship not worth it.
But
See,
hold on. See, Armand, that's why I tricked you at though.
Y'all do realize 12 hours is half a day.
That's what I'm saying. 12 hours.
Because I'm saying if the person is that obsessive, then that pretty much is a sign I shouldn't have been in that relationship in the first place.
This is where the trick is, Armand.
That person's got some mental issues that they need to work out on their own first.
Armand, this is where the trick is. That 5 minute turns into 15 minutes, and the 15 minutes turns into an hour, and that hour turns into 2 hours. Once you give a little bit, then that's how it turns into something else.
So you got 12 hours on FaceTime with her.
See, I guess that's what they call setting boundaries. I get you what you're saying, Q. Like, I gotta either set boundaries, and if the boundaries can't be set,
means no. No means no. Yeah. And so if you got 12 of my hours, and then I'm figuring 12 hours at work, and then I got 8 hours of sleep, that's 20 hours right there. That leaves me 4 free hours in a day.
That ain't even an issue, to tell you the truth.
I know.
I'm gonna go back to that. Jump in.
So this is the deal. I think of it like this. When you are, say you're in a relationship and something like that happens, and at that moment, you and your partner decide to either move forward or move apart. At that moment, when you decide, okay, if we're moving forward, it doesn't mean that, you know, all these other things got to come into play at this point in time. And then at some point in time, you just got to say, okay, do I trust this person or I don't trust this person? And if I feel like I can't trust that person, because I'm not going to babysit anybody. I'll tell you right now, you say, I'm going to go here. Okay, see you when you get back. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here because that will play on your mental health. And stuff like that is like, if you got to be that much engaged into what your partner doing every single minute of the day when they at work or when they here or whatever, then you probably don't need to be with that person. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. If you can't trust a person to leave the house and come back home, or to be with you, or to come home at a respectful time, or to do whatever, you know, I go out, I hang out with my friends, but I don't stay out to 2, 3 in the morning. I very rarely stay out past 12. Right. You know what I'm saying? So there's a respect factor there. And you learn it with age. I mean, I say in my younger days, when I was in my 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s, that
I ain't have social media back then.
Damn.
The technology was not available back then.
So that quote of men don't mature till they're 43 totally is fucking true, huh?
You probably right.
That's about right.
No.
But, you know, it's just one of those things where I think in a relationship, you just really have to, you know, because trust is everything really in a relationship. And if you don't have that, I mean, all this other stuff is not going to, you can do that 24/7. She could look at this, and if he really want to make up his mind that he going to do something, he probably going to do it. So besides all of that, you can't, you're not going to stop something if somebody really wants to do it. Right. So if I don't trust you, then I just need to move on to somebody else.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, you know, your 20s, 30s, teens, even in their 40s. I just had a birthday yesterday, and I'm just now getting it right. You know,
happy birthday!
Thank you. Oh, it was 2 days ago. I'm sorry, the second.
Happy birthday. Well, you know, I'm in jail, so I can't post shit.
Look, it was yesterday. It'd be happy birthday, but it was 2 days ago.
Happy BB lady birthday.
Happy birthday. No, I think the question that you asked Q was valid. You know, like if you fucked up, like do you do certain things to try to, you know, show your partner that, hey, look, I'm trying, or hey, look, you know, my word is good, like I am where I say. Like I think in some, you know, situations where there's some mistrust, let's say some infidelity, some lying, you know, some getting caught type shit. If you do choose to stay with that person, you do have to work on your own interpersonal trust issues, because you could do 12 hours on FaceTime all day long. You obviously still don't trust this motherfucker. So that's going to continue to manifest in other places. But how long does the man or woman have to keep trying to prove? You know, I mean, actions do speak louder than words. Actions, you know, what do they say? The only acceptable apology is a changed behavior. So the person who is trying to get back in good graces with their partner, you shouldn't have to be, showing the picture of Bobby and Joe every time you're with them. You shouldn't have to, go live at the bar every time you go out. Like, I think that, I think that there's a reasonable amount of that for two people if they decide that that's might be what needs to help them get over, maybe some mistrust issues, but that shit can't happen forever.
That doesn't build trust. Them watching you at work for 12 hours.
No, it doesn't build trust. It just kills the assumptions on the other person's part. But yeah, it doesn't build trust.
It don't even kill the assumptions. The fact that you have to do that shows the presence of the assumption.
But the fact that the person proves that you're crazy ass, I'm not doing what you think I might be doing, that shuts them up, but it's not building trust. I agree with you there.
But he crazy for doing it. He crazy for doing it.
Period.
Have you ever talked to a crazy person? There's no logic behind it.
That is 60 hours 60 hours a week of FaceTime. Are you kidding me?
Can you even imagine a 12-hour shift and she requires you to be on the phone the entire time?
I think that I personally think they would both be better off if they just broke up.
I think you're right,
Obviously, she doesn't trust him. She has made her whatever happened.
He gonna hate her for doing this.
Yeah, whatever happened in the past made her.
They got kids together. Make it tougher.
I think she just like that. She don't need somebody else.
But I personally think that they just don't need to be together, because if this got into that situation like you described,
it didn't get to that situation. That's what people got to realize.
She
was always like that. You don't. Somebody can't do something to you to make you start doing that type of stuff. Trust me, I was in a marriage, and we were not. Her infidelity or my infidelity did not drive me to start checking up through phones and doing certain stuff. Show me a picture. It didn't force me to do none of that stuff at all.
Well, everybody responds to those situations differently, but
if you
I've never done that. I've never gone through anybody's phone to find out. That ain't me. That's not how I'm made.
Right.
If you're doing dirt, I'm gonna find out just because I'm a dude.
Right. Well, you can't hide shit forever. It's gonna come out one way or another. But yes. Okay. So it's a 6-minute video, and Q, you might be able to control it too. And so this is a post that who posted it on Freethinkers? Stacey Shea posted it on Freethinkers. And I've been in jail, so I haven't been able to comment on it. But I did finally watch it today, and I was like, "Oh, this is not what I expected." So it's curious that we have an all-male panel tonight. I'll be really interested to hear what your feedback is on this, because she kind of got a little ate up in the post. So let's see what happens.
So the point of me making this live was basically I realized today that I have nothing to offer a man, nothing. And I feel like it took me 32 years to realize it, because I just found that out today. So I was today years old when I realized it. And then it took me a lot of pride swallowing to be able to admit it. I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I feel. This is not based off anyone else. This is only based off myself. But I just wanted to share it just in case it may help somebody else. I feel like I don't have anything to offer to a man because a man asked me what I had to offer him. And it was the way he asked that made me realize that I don't. He simply stated, I realize that you're single, but tell me what would I benefit from having you as my woman? Now, outside of the basics, like, oh, I look nice, I can cook, I work, I didn't have nothing else to offer. And the reason I realized that I didn't is because I got to thinking about myself, and all I've been doing for so many years is just working and taking care of kids. I don't know necessarily what I'm into, so there goes hobbies. I'm not necessarily sure my feminine level of energy, because majority of my relationships, I wore the pants. So how can you, as a woman, offer to be a woman to a man if you've never fully been a woman? I am a woman because I'm a female, but I'm talking about like actually be a woman, like to a man. I've never experienced that, so I don't know what that feels like. So I can't honestly say that I have anything to offer as far as a woman outside of just being a woman. So that means all I really do have to offer is some pussy because I'm a woman and we have one. That's really not enough. I can't honestly say I can I can offer you a nurturing environment because I'm too frustrated about the children that I have and the lack of help that I have with them. So it's like I can't necessarily be so nurturing to you when I'm frustrated at the amount of nurturing that I'm already doing. So therefore, I know I can't offer you that. I can offer cooking for you, but then to me, it comes at a price, because if you're coming and you're sitting and you're eating my food and you're not providing any of it, I'm a feel away. So now I'm offering you bitterness. That's not anything a man wants. Why would you want a bitter female? Well, I'm bitter because of my own merits. So it's not your job to fix the bitterness. It's my job to fix. As much as I want a man to come to me ready, able to provide, work, and handle himself, I think that me as a female, I need to have my emotions in check, because if a man wants peace, I don't have any, because I'm frustrated. I'm bitter, I'm emotional, I'm upset. So I made this video because today I realized that I don't have anything to offer a man outside of good looks. And I learned that I don't want a man for just his looks. So how can I be so selfish and only offer a bare minimum and expect so much? That is some unfair shit. Now, I don't know about all these other females. Other females may not agree or even feel the way I feel about the children that I have and the lack of help that I have with them. So it's like I can't necessarily be so nurturing.
All right, so it only recorded. That was pretty much the gist of it.
Wow.
So
She was talking really fast. I couldn't keep up with everything.
I was getting it. I was taking notes.
Yeah, I got a lot of it.
he said I got a lot of it.
Yeah, I got a whole lot of that.
On one hand, I do understand what she means, right? Like, you do have to, it's the saying of, like, you have to love you first before you can love somebody else. You have to be happy with you before you can be happy with somebody else. You have to know, you have to know your parameters before you can expect, something from somebody else. So on multiple things that she said, I do agree with her. Like, you have to be at peace to be able to offer somebody else some fucking peace. And just because you're single doesn't mean you should be dating. Some people should be healing instead of fucking. Some people should be healing instead of dating. Like, all of those things set aside, I feel like, and maybe it's just because I'm a woman and because I'm a great fucking woman, that I feel if you are a good woman, if you are a great candidate, if you have good righteous qualities, just because you don't know what your hobbies are, or just because you're frustrated as a single parent, or just because, like, I kind of feel like she's knocking on women to a certain extent.
No.
I do, because she should. There's a lot of things I can't provide either. There's a lot of things I can't do right now. There's a lot of stuff I'm not able to meet the mark, let's say for some men's expectations, right? But there's also a give and a take, right? Like, depending on what your parameters are, depending on what you are not going to settle for, there's a compromise in there between men and women. So I get what she's saying, but there should be enough power within her, assuming she's in a position to where she should be dating, that she can still highlight the great qualities that she does have, that she brings more than just some pussy to the table.
How she told you that's what she had. And I'm assuming, just me, she was speaking for herself.
Yes.
Now, but that's what she said she could offer, and that's it.
I
the
think
food. Go ahead, Crutch.
No, I was just saying, I think one of the things that I took away from it, just listening to it, is the fact that, and maybe it was the simple fact, the men that she has had in her life, she doesn't realize what a man can potentially bring to her. Because she said, I'm going to cook for you, but you're not bringing anything to the table. So then I'm pissed off
that's
at
what
you.
I was just about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got these kids from a previous relationship where it sounds like the daddy ain't doing shit for none of the kids.
Right.
So her experience with men is not a good experience. So part of her frustration, I feel, is because of the way that the interaction she's had with men so far, feeling like, well, I've done all these things, but it doesn't seem like it's either enough or I don't have anything to bring to the table based upon relationships that I've been in.
You hear that, Echo? You can tell he got a big house.
You just got to realize, you know, and everybody say this, but every man is not the same. There are
Right.
good men out there, you know. So it's just like, you know, it's unfortunate that it sounds like from her, it's like she hasn't experienced anything that will make her feel any different than the way she feels. And I totally agree with a lot of the things that she was saying, because her own feelings is like, well, I don't feel like I got any shit to give to you really at this point in time. But I think if somebody was to be like, you know what, I don't need you to give me everything you think you need to give to me, but I just need you to come into the relationship with an open mind. And I think things might be a little different.
Preaching. Yeah, so my observation, I think in some instances she came to a false deduction. She was like, well, because of this, and obviously the only thing, hold on, who said the only thing? She came up with that deduction on her own, that the only thing she had to give was that. And I'm like,
well, it was that and some good looks. She was like, I can give you some good looks, and I can give you some yoni.
She basically itched on herself by coming to that own deduction, that just because she may have, you know, some bitterness or trust issues or whatever the case is, that she has nothing else to bring to the table.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you downplayed, like she said, I work and I cook. Well, that's important. Working, cooking,
and a woman who can take care of a household brings a lot of things to a table when you don't even know that you're bringing them to the table, when you forced to be in that and you know, when you choose to be in that position. Like, so to hear her talk about how she just ain't got nothing.
So again,
I'm like, that makes me sad.
She looked at everything and she deduced that all I have to offer. I'm like, no. I think you came to a false conclusion based upon how you view your value.
Right.
So, you know, working and cooking, that's a good thing. And
that's why I said it's all about, that was more about her than it was about women in general, because I'm sure that like you said, well, you did say this earlier, that women were chewing her up, you know, because most women wouldn't view themselves like she views herself. And Q just said she shit on herself by putting all that shit out there that way, you know. Sure, to be in a good relationship, you have to have a teammate. You have to, and based on what Crutch said, you know, and the girl said, she's been in some old bullshit relationships, I guess. You know,
now I do agree. Two things can be right. You can have value. Number one, your self-awareness. That's value right there. If you able to,
kudos to her for being aware, no doubt.
And also with that, I will also say, I may not agree with her statement, but I do think that you may not be good relationship material right now. You do need to work on your peace of mind. You do need to work whatever's causing you to be bitter and angry at the world. You probably do need to work on that first before you get in a relationship with somebody.
And you don't need to be resentful, you know, towards me because of the kids, because I ain't bringing no food over for you to cook. And, you know, I mean, those are things that if you want something, you have to learn to work through to get to that stage. And to me, it just sounded like she was just like, F it. I ain't got shit. I ain't giving you shit. You know.
So let's evaluate this right now.
Well, I was going to read some of the comments too. I don't know if you pulled up that particular post.
No, I haven't.
So Moke said, "I appreciate her honesty." T Double Tierney said, "Yeah, I'm glad that she was honest in all that she said. Like she said, she wouldn't want a man who can't do and be all these things, and she can't provide the same energy and that type of space." You had commented, Q, she's right. Ronald says, fair trade, love the honesty. Denise says, I don't disagree with her. She's very self-aware, taking ownership of herself and emotions instead of putting them on someone else. That says a lot about her. When she gets to a place where she can offer more, I think she'll be in a successful relationship. Jules said self-inventory is vital. I appreciate that she was vulnerable enough to post her thoughts and start this conversation that many people may not have ever considered. Being equally yoked is real. Knowing what you bring to the table should be a marker for setting realistic expectations of what you expect a future partner to offer. If someone doesn't like the options that leaves for them, it's time to level up before seeking new relationships. Maximus says, just say no to overpopulating kids having kids. What the fuck? and then somebody said, yuck. So,
well, she didn't get dragged. She didn't get dragged. That seemed like that was pretty level.
No, I think it was on the original post.
Oh yeah, that could be them trolls.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, I know. Original post versus.
Let me ask a question real quick for men, since we have a lot of men on there. What are the top? What would be your top 2 attributes when assessing what a woman brings to the table? What would personally be your top 2 attributes that you look for in a woman? Education, period.
So education. You said education for you?
No, education for everybody watching.
Oh! I thought that was one of your 2 that you were choosing.
I'm saying since she's
educate.
There's nothing to offer. This all I got to offer. Well, you don't know. Did you actually ask a man what's the priority for them?
Right.
So that's my question. Somebody jump in. Tell me what's the most important thing to you.
I had to think about this.
Right.
It is. She right. Right. It's just that box.
There's various things, but I would say the top.
She was
the top
right.
2 would be companionship, and then I would have to go with
sex.
It's
number 2. It was number 1. It was number 2. He trying to think of something else other than sex.
See, that's why I had to take a step back, because I was like,
I mean, there's a lot of things, right? But I'm trying to think about, okay, myself, right? Think about myself, think about situations, right? So a lot of people would say somebody that, maybe works, brings in things to the household too. But when you think about yourself, like me, for instance, I don't mind if I'm with a woman that doesn't like to cook, because I love to cook. So that's not a game changer for me, because I cook better than most anyway. So I think companionship, and then just reliability, really stability for me is more important than anything. I need somebody that's level-headed, that keeps me level.
See, I need a communicator. I need somebody that can communicate, good, bad, or indifferent. Because if you're able to talk about it, you can get through it.
Right.
Exactly.
She may not be able to cook. She may be tired of all them damn kids. Let's talk about it then. I need to be able to communicate. I need you to tell me that. You don't feel like going to the grocery store today? I'll go.
Right.
Let a brother know.
But you got to tell me. I can't read your mind. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those little things are like, to me, like that. Like you said, grocery store, stuff like that shit. In this day and age, hell, you don't even need to go to the grocery store. That's true. Just go online. Type that shit in, and it come right to your house.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Made that all the way easier.
Yeah, she crossed herself out that game.
Yeah, she did.
I feel like she did. I do, but I do also acknowledge that she wasn't ready. I don't think she was in a place mentally or emotionally where she would have really been able to be with a partner. I don't know what kind of partner she would have been able to be at this time. But I do think she crossed herself out.
Would probably be able to go out on a good date with her, and then that night, and then Armand would be fed up with her after that. After all that, she was giving off, boy. And Armand, the nicest dude on earth. I'm telling you.
I think he just needs somebody that's.
He wasn't gonna cuss her out. Armand ain't gonna cuss her out.
Hold on a damn minute. Just stop me for a second.
Well, for me, I would say I would just need somebody that's kind and patient with me, because I know, like, if you got to spend years with me, sooner or later, I'm probably going to get on your nerves. So you got to be patient. Because you spend 20 or more years with somebody. That's totally different from like the honeymoon phase, where everything is like, wonderful and you can't see their flaws. But when you've been with the same person like 20 or more years, some of that shine starts to wear off.
Right.
Mm.
That's
And
facts.
it all comes down to like, can they accept the real you?
Okay.
Like, you know, the you that's not the Hollywood story, you know, like Hollywood honeymoon type. No, everything is perfect and it's great, you know, and it's wonderful. And, you know, so it's really all about like, can the person accept the real you know, without the filters and without the. So I think that's what I would need. I would need somebody that's kind and somebody just patient with me.
There you go.
You know?
So the consensus
Change your
is
years, bro. 20,
sex is
20
like
a
number
lot.
2, not number 1.
Patience starts to wear thin at about 8.
Ooh, they say that 7-year itch, though. You know.
I ain't just talking about it. It ain't no itch. I'm just saying it's just it's tough.
Depending on how annoying you are. Some more than others, but yeah, that's okay. So we gonna give a last 5 minutes.
What was your 2? What was your 2?
He already said sex is sex.
Yeah, I heard that shit.
No, for me, really, it's really not, because I'm not an angry sex person. I ain't no makeup sex person. So if I can't get along with you right, then the sex don't mean nothing, because I don't even want to touch you by that point. Because I ain't one of them people who I don't operate like that. So
20 years
it's
ago,
definitely like yeah, it's we just gotta it's a combination of what you said. Communication, patience. I mean, kind of everything that y'all talked about. It just, we have to vibe and get along well. And you really just support me. We help each other, because I'm not a forceful person. So you got to be secure within yourself. I'm gonna support you. You gonna support me. We walking this together, and we still got our own path at the same time.
There you go.
Right. That part.
Self-confidence.
Yeah.
She has to have self-confidence.
That's true. Because I'm very self-confident, and I can't have you being insecure.
I just, if you don't have confidence, then it's tough. It's tough.
So if you desire a woman who is confident, does it bother you if y'all are ever with women or have been with a woman or encounter women who seek a man who gives assurance, though? Maybe she's not necessarily insecure, but she likes assurance from her man that, like, she looks good today, or she smells good today, or that's a cute outfit today, or this food is the bomb. Like, is that
that would be
you know,
reassurance.
Reassurance.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because everybody likes.
But it's to reinforce how you already feel about yourself.
Right.
Yeah. I can't give it to you, but I can reinforce it.
Well, because some people say, because some men say they want a woman who's confident, but they don't compliment. And so it's like, well, some women, some men may not want compliments, but I think that people genuinely do like to be complimented.
I think some people compliment in different ways, though. I hear what you're saying, Nikki, but some people compliment in different ways. Not everybody says their compliments. Some people do stuff as a compliment.
Yeah, you're right. But then let me say it real simple. You shouldn't allow somebody else to step in your place in any form or fashion. So I know my girl out. Oh, I know dude's gonna tell her she fine, and I know everything. So it's my responsibility for her not to hear nothing from somebody else. By the time they say, yeah, my man already told me that 3 times before I left the house. Because she is.
And that's a great point. And yeah, that's a great point. And
you shouldn't have your woman surprised when like when she going about her day, she gets surprised and you open the door for me, thank you. No, she expect that, because I already do that for her on a regular. Everything that somebody else can attempt to do for her, I do that already.
Right.
Good point.
Okay, so
you have to be diligent.
Yeah, make it just a practice. And about that, it ain't even me going out of my way to do it. It's just it's a part of. It's just like breathing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you got to make yourself do it, then that could be a problem, because maybe your girl not that attractive to you. So that could be a whole nother issue when you got to make yourself. I have that conversation with people too. You got to make yourself do a lot of this stuff, then that could be a problem.
Yeah.
I agree.
Either you just need to rewire yourself, or she ain't. Y'all not meshing.
She ain't the one. You're not doing it organically for her.
Okay, hold on. We gotta let's get 3 more minutes.
All right.
We need to finalize, because time is winding down.
Okay.
Nikki is about to get out of jail again. I wanted to have this.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this
to make sure.
I'm back in again. I got 26 more days.
Oh, Stokely can't. I can Stokely in jail too. Goodness gracious! All right, Unc Armand Stokely disqualified because he got.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on,
we gotta try to keep Nikki out of it. We the parole board.
The parole board.
So Nikki, did you learn the error of your ways?
You know, I'm never going to identify the error of my ways. However, you know, it's kind of like something me and Smack have been talking about lately. Is like, it's not. I think that I have reached the place where it's not my job to teach anybody anything, right? Except my children, right? Like I'm responsible for my children, and that's all I'm really and truly fucking responsible for and obligated to. So, you know, my desire to want to share information, my desire to want to, you know, engage in conversations where corrections need to be made because somebody spoke out of line, you know, my desire to, you know, want to take no shit, you know, I realized that being in jail this 30-day go around, you know, I couldn't promote my business during the holiday season, right? And the holiday season is the biggest shopping season, right? Of fucking for bakers, for people who, you know, make treats. So on one hand, I was okay because I didn't have to really be in the kitchen more than I wanted to, because I didn't really fucking want to. But you can definitely see how it hurts. So it's not my job to continue to engage in conversations and situations with people who are determined to misunderstand me. And for me to continue being thrown in jail, you know, because I've upset somebody, because I've offended somebody, because I've hurt somebody's feelings, you know, because I've told somebody about some shit that they didn't said that was, you know, improper. I'm just going to have to choose to walk away from some of those situations.
That's what you have to do. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like I got room to tell you how to do something.
Because you got 26 days left. You doing it, and I'm ready to get out. I ain't never been so excited to get out of Facebook jail. And it's like, so it's been an interest, but Stokely, it's been an interesting thing, right? Because at the same time, there's been so many conversations I've wanted to jump in. There's been so many, like today on Black Tea Talk, I wanted to fucking chime in 50 times, and I was like, God damn it, I can't say nothing. And so it's forced me to just sit my ass back and shut up and just like listen and look. And I don't like it at all, but I have to find a balance, because ultimately they don't give a fuck about us, you know, and it's more important for me to have contact with my circle, you know, and be able to share information and be able to, you know, see shit like your birthday 2 days ago and tell you happy birthday, you know what I mean? Or promote my business, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So no, I have not learned the error of my ways. I'm just finding ways to go about who I am and staying out of Facebook jail.
And you make a very good point in saying that I'd much rather be able to share the information with people that want to know the information than to be blocked out where I can't share any of it. And again, I swear they targeting your boy though. I was telling this cat about these Native American people and how many Native American people were killed. And he's like, that's fake news. And I went, hold on. Then he said something to me, and I said, bitch. And
I told you, you can't say bitch on Facebook. You can't say bitch. You can't say bitch. You can't say hoe. You can't say fat. They
told me I was bullying him because I called him a bitch.
Yep. So, that's I done got many. I done got some 7 days for the word bitch.
At this point, have y'all learned to change up your language?
I have changed. You look, I have used 8s instead of B's. I use 0s instead of O's. Like I have Morse coded my cuss words just to be able to stay in a conversation. And sometimes a cuss word is fucking important. You know what I'm saying? So it's some words you don't sub out.
I would say this. Bitch with an 8 just ain't got the same impact.
I can't even write bitch with an H. Like if I write BIIIH, they'll be like 3 days. I literally can't even write like a fake word.
Why don't you say female dog?
Because that ain't
It's just
got
not
no
the
punch.
same. It's not the
It ain't
same.
If you can still post it the next day, it is.
Yeah, that's
True.
But I think
Yeah.
the other side, they've come to anytime they feel the slightest bit of pressure or pushback, they're gonna report you. And that's what they're doing now.
Well, and the algorithms, I do
Yeah.
believe that they're on my ass. I mean, there's
Well,
been
they can call me the N-word.
I made a comment once. I literally said, my whole entire sentence was, "Oh, you just woke up dumb." Like that was literally a response that I gave to somebody who was being flaming fucking ignorant on a post. I was like, "Oh, you just woke up dumb," and they're like, "Boom, 7 days." And I was like, "For that? I didn't say anything." But this last time I made a comment. It's not harsh. You woke up dumb. It's not harsh.
No, I'm saying I'm giving you 7 days for that.
I was finna say, no, that is not harsh because the last one, okay, I'll give it to him. It was in a conversation about a pedophile here locally, and I didn't understand how this man had sexually assaulted children like in a Target. The only way that can happen is if your fucking kids are not with you. The only way that can happen is if you let your kids run around the goddamn store unattended. The only way because if my children are at the store with me, they're right next to me. You can't touch my fucking kid, nor can you touch them and not die right there on site. So I made a comment in the news story about this, and I said, touch my kids, and now what I said, I said, fuck with my kids, and I'll end your life. And that's what got me the 30 days. I was like, damn. That's the second time I got 30 days for my kids.
Hold on. Let's time out. Moving forward, are there any subjects or subject matter that you're going to stay away from?
Yes. Yes. I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do to you if you endanger the lives of my children.
Stay away from vaccines.
I just got to take that 30. That's crazy.
No, forget about I think she has a point. She might not get 30 no more. She might be on a lot. She might get the 3 strikes and you out.
At the end of the
I've
day,
had some friends who had some double 30 bands. I'm like, damn.
60 days. Well, see, you know how you can pull up your history, your restriction history, and my list longer than Scottie Pippen, longer than Scottie Pippen's arms.
Mine too.
I'm like, dang.
Now I tell you what about the COVID thing, though. Oh, sorry. You're right. But
and Facebook shouldn't tolerate the acknowledgement. Any. There's nothing that you can say that's wrong that has anything to do with the assault or sexually assault or anything of kids.
Right.
Yeah. So whether you're talking about, like you said, the dumbass parents that let the kids run around in the store.
Yep. Be on their phone constantly. Don't watch their kids.
And all. I mean, come on. I don't know. That's just me personally. I know Facebook, and then probably now y'all two on the watch list. So
don't try to send me a friend request.
I try to keep my distance away from Nikki because I don't want to be associated. Between Nikki and Smack, I'm like, I gotta keep my distance. And
he don't even be going to jail. He just gets goddamn show stream shut down. But I tell you what, though, Q,
don't go to jail, it's gonna be a problem.
I know, so we can't do that. You're my hope. Like you always stay on the good side.
Or you could stay out of Facebook jail.
I'm gonna try. That is definitely and I also learned too.
Armand, I don't think we really get into it, but that's all right.
No, I'm telling you, just the energy that is. Like 30 days again, like back to back is like, damn, like it's like being grounded, right? From like all your friends, you can't go outside and play.
I was out for 4 days.
This is like, if you let a computer decide what bullying is,
that's crazy.
That's kind of a problem because the computer doesn't understand human,
context,
human nuance
and context. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I even paused after the word bitch, and it didn't catch that. I took a pause. I said, well, bitch, look, let me tell you one thing. And then they said that
they saw the word. But to your point, Armand, and that's really true because, you know, there have been times where I have been, you know, kicked off of Facebook and they're like, do you agree or disagree with the decision? And if you disagree with the decision, like they can then go to the higher ups and they look at your shit and they decide, oh, okay, well, we made a mistake. They don't even give me the option to agree or disagree with the decision anymore. They're just like, bye, bitch, go sit in timeout. But let me say this real quick, though. Let me say this before I forget. So I started a TikTok page while I was in Facebook jail because I, you know, what else to do, right? So, like, I created a TikTok page, and I've been telling you I was going to do a, you know, trying to grow my food business and shit. So I was like, well, this is a great time to, like, look into other social media, you know, that I've never utilized. And TikTok is definitely, I see why people are now moving towards TikTok because there's a lot of movement and there's, you know, potential money to be made with TikTok, right? So I started a TikTok page. I have 6 videos. I just started last Friday. Like each of my videos has at least 400 to 500 views plus. Well, I posted a video on my Instagram, and I also, I didn't post it on Facebook. I posted on Instagram, and it was just like a quick little scan, like a 10-second video of my medicine cabinet. And it, you know, in the Instagram post, it has the whole list of like what these, you know, herbs are, what they're for, what their benefits are. And, you know, that's, and, you know, this is what we take, right? You know, I'm the anti-vaxxer chick. So I post this on my TikTok page and I added this one little fucking caption, right? And it says, your vaccine is trash. When I tell you the amount of fucking hate that I received for like 3 days, I eventually deleted the video last night, and I was really against it because I believed in what I said and what I was, you know, sharing was just different herbal, you know, medicines to keep in your medicine cabinet, not to fucking cure COVID, not to prevent COVID, not to stop pregnancy from fucking happening around the corner. Like literally, if you get a fucking cold, try this. If you have a chest, you know, issue, try this. Like it was literally just homeopathic shit that I use. And the amount of ignorant, vile hate response, I had like 79 comments before I deleted the page. And it was just, it was really disheartening to me. Like, and I realized that this is the world in which we live in, but it just was a reminder to me of why I just have to choose what fights I'm going to go to. And not all fights are worth going to when people are committed to misunderstanding you. So that is my takeaway of this fucking 30-day suspension. I do not plan on going back to Facebook jail. I don't want to go back to Facebook jail. Like, I want to be able to be a contributing member of society and free thinkers and be able to post all the things I'm supposed to be posting and comment in the places I'm supposed to be commenting. But I do, you know, but I will always maintain, I think it's bullshit. You know, there's so many things that people should be banned for and
they're not.
This is not right. The shit I'm saying is not inflammatory. It's not
surprised
bullying.
that I've never been flagged before, at least because I don't.
You don't post enough, and you don't get in.
I stay on video more. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't.
Because of video. I think that it's because of video. I think it's video over what's actually written.
I say controversial stuff on my videos.
Well, I just be checking folk when they're wrong, and I get it.
And see, I don't go back and forth with people. See, even if I see a bunch of comments, by the second time, I'm just gonna make a video about it. I don't like just
right.
I guess 2022.
I'll make a video in a hot second.
2022. I guess I ain't gonna be going back and forth either. This year
right.
is crazy.
We out of time. Anybody got any last words? We can finish up now.
No.
Well, you can follow me on my TikTok page. I have a new TikTok page, which you will see in the next 5 fucking hours all over my Facebook page. But I've got a new TikTok page and an Instagram page. They're identical, and it's all pushing and promoting my food stuff. So, God, I keep hitting this stupid cord. So my goal is to get cooking tutorials, cooking videos on my channel. So the TikTok page is The Terrible Fucking Vegan, and that's FKN, The Terrible Fucking Vegan. And my Instagram page is the same thing, Terrible Fucking Vegan. So, you know, if you are a foodie person, totally join me over on The Terrible Fucking Vegan, please. And, you know, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be one of those TikToker people that you see videos all over the place of quick, easy, simple, vegan, healthy, body nourishing, contributors to social media.
Okay.
Yeah, the terrible fucking vegan. And then if you have not joined or subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have over 420 something members on our Facebook group page. We need to see y'all hitting that subscribe button over on YouTube. Also, turn the notifications on, and that way every Tuesday when we set the meeting for our Tuesday night meeting, you'll get the notification. You can set it up that way, because we are trying to get more off of Facebook and get more onto the YouTube platform. So terrible fucking vegan, and then YouTube is Free Thinkers Worldwide. Anybody else got anything?
Armand, any last words?
Just be safe. Just be safe out there. You know, hug your loved ones. Just be safe. That's just it, basically.
Stokely, last words.
I have nothing. Y'all be good. Like my man Armand said, be safe. Just be safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unc, last words.
Enjoyed it. Nothing else to say. Enjoyed the conversation, everybody, and as my older brother would say, stay black.
Yeah, thanks for joining the conversation tonight. Love having a newbie. Come every Tuesday night and just tap in and chop it up with us. Q, last words for you.
I'll be doing that. I enjoyed it.
No, that's it. Thank everybody. Thank everybody in the comments. Kev, Smack, Jules, everybody who commented in the sections, in the comment section. We appreciate that as well. Denise. All right, and till next week, we out.
Good night. See y'all next week.
Peace out.
See y'all later. Take care.
See y'all.